I've got this little quote here I wrote down. I heard it in a fucking rom-com, and it said, "You like because you love despite." So a bit ties in with the fucking Zizek thing.
Yeah.
I completely disagree with it because loving despite, like, that automatically, for me, negates love. Because if you're loving despite, well, you get how it means. You know, you like people because, oh, like this person does this or whatever, you like them. But then you love them despite, they're, like, that movie was trying to say, like, oh, like, even though he sucks, you know, at this, I still love him. And it's like, how fucking stupid do you want to be? You know, like, if you have to love somebody despite, I don't think you love them. Do you think that you love them despite?
For me personally,
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that question. I think that's
Yeah.
we have to. What I said earlier about love, it's something that you have no control over.
Yeah, see, because this, I think, is the main crux of where we both have opposing opinions on some of this stuff. Is because you feel like it's something that you can't control. It just overcomes you. And I think that happens for most people.
Yeah.
We had a long discussion where I've told you about, for me, it was like that. And then it's, it ruined me so bad that I was like, I'm never gonna let this thing be uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And I've since developed methods where I can control it when it comes creeping in.
Yeah.
So now I know that it is controllable. I'll tell you, the road to get there is a fucked up path I don't think anybody could put together on themselves. The things I found out were not written down in books. They're guesses and experiments, and they've since worked. So I'm in a position where I can say, look, anybody wants to tell me love is like, oh, it just comes over you and you can't control it. My answer to that person is, I want to say that's a weak person, but I don't feel like that's completely accurate, because I think I was a bit of a psychopath in the route that I took to like be able to like overcome love's overcomingness. A lot of the reasons I dump friends are for shit that they couldn't even see. But I guess this just ties back into the Peterson thing of like... But that's the thing, like, if they can't see it, then that's the point. That's the whole point right there. If they can't see their shortcomings, then why would you want them as your friend, right? Yeah, exactly. And then so it's like, it's always unpleasant, I guess, because... Especially when you're at this level of intelligence and then they're not. It's hard to, like, connect with someone like that way. Well, like, I have friends who aren't, like, on this level, and I get along with them well, but it's people who, like I was saying, that one of the worst type of people is people who are aware enough to know their flaws, but then don't do anything about their flaws. Yeah. Those are the people that are just, like, corrosive to my soul, and I can't deal with those people because it's just, like, it wastes so much of my time, man. Yeah. I want to, like, help them. Then, I can't help them, so then there's a waste. Being around them, like, oh, well, let's just chill and, like, not think about how fucking shitty they are. That can't fucking occur, because every second of their life they're being that shitty because that's who they are. So then that's like, well, just gotta let it go and get the fuck out of Dodge. Here's a really cool concept. Do you think the whole platonic love of your friends can play a role into this? Like, do you think that that's something that can actually exist? Like, you've known a person for so long, it's almost impossible not to cut those ties, and that's what I mean by a platonic love. That there's something that happens. That's there. Like the loving despite type thing, right? Yes. See, this platonic love, we were kind of joking about this, but like, we did, platonic love just means you're not fucking them. So like, it's like, and that's the whole universal type of love. Yeah. So I would have to say, that's how I would categorize it. I would have to say, in my brain, love for me is only like me and my wife. That's the only thing it is. I find it weird, like, okay, I've got like, I do, it reminds me of something, but love my friends in a way, but it's like, love to me is so intertwined with sex that, like, I can't really even say I love my friends because I don't want to fuck my friends. I mean, it's pretty basic, but I feel like you could also put music under that category. For me, at least, I can love a song just like I can love a woman. I don't... You know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, there's specific moments in a song that make me feel
a certain way, and I love how that song makes me feel.
So I could say like it's easy with a song because you can't fuck a song.
Of course.
Right? So like things that you can't fuck, those are the only things you could have platonic relationships with, I would think. Like
fuck in the sense of like sexual reproduction, but like it giving that's why we have these weird.
I just don't get a nut.
I know what you mean, but like that's why we have these weird notions and slangs now. Like you're gonna laugh, but like a foodgasm or an eargasm. You know what I mean? These things that are just like they're so good that that's the only word we can describe it. Is because it's
orgasmic.
It's orgasmic.
So pleasurable,
and that's what I mean by that. I don't think you can ever force anyone to love ever. Like, forcing is something that's fucked up.
No, man.
I'll give you an example that happens to all of us.
Do you even need to say that? I mean, who fucking thinks that you can force somebody to love somebody?
This is the fuckt up thing.
I think that's called rape, Jules.
That's funny. But I'll give you an example. Do you love your parents? You don't have to answer that, but like your parents, you're brought into this life and they tell you have to love us. Yeah. In that sense.
That's like your first lesson of love right there. Some people
that's
are going to expect you to love them.
Everyone has to go through that. They expect you to love them. Like, we can never determine what we love. And that's why I always approach love with that analogy. It just comes over you. Like, you just love what you love. And I don't think there's any really determining factors other than what you think inside your brain. I feel like that's part of it, and that's why I do agree on there is reasons to love someone, but that's not the whole thing. I feel like it's simultaneous with this big cloud that comes over you, and you rationalizing the reasons why, which are fueling that thing from happening. That thing happening.
I keep wanting to say this. I want to say, like, if you can't control the thing overcoming you, like, that's a type of weakness, you know? And it's not necessarily frowned upon to have weakness, because I can look at it as in the, like, past life thing of, like, an idiot in this life will not be an idiot next life. So, like, if you're too weak to, like, overcome love and, you know, get out of it, then that's okay for this life. Don't do it next life. But I kind of think with people, and this is where we get with the people in like relationships that are unhealthy. It's like maybe they don't have, there's a multitude of things they don't have. I mean, I just word it as like they're not intelligent enough to understand that it's unhealthy, but they, you know, maybe they're too weak to overcome the love emotion that's set in on them. Like it's just there, and even though the person that they love, they're like loving that person despite their bad habits, they're really loving despite the fact that they can't fucking figure out how to get over the love, you know? So they could be weak, and then that other person, who knows what that other person is? The other person could be taking advantage. The other person could actually love them, but just be a fucking idiot themselves, and that's why they're doing stupid shit that the other person doesn't love. Yeah. You know, it's a weird dynamic. You know, I always wonder if love movies, like the notion of love has either, how it's been portrayed has either fucked us up or it's trying to lead us in the right direction. Yeah. I kind of perplexed about this because on one hand, you could very easily say that it's fucked us up because it gives us these ideals that are just like so impractical in real life. Yeah. But then
the whole like serendipitous moment.
No. Like
I think Disney, when you say that's why I say that.
Disney, I'm thinking more like rom-coms and like, you know, just the way that love's portrayed. And then you think like, okay, well, you know, you want a love to be maybe like you're saying serendipitous, like all so magical, all right? And
well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
but then
serendipity can be close tied with like a magical experience.
People would say that magical type of love is impractical, but the reason that they would say it's impractical is because they can't conceive how to achieve it. Yeah. So therefore,
it's almost like it's unrealistic to hold yourself to that degree of finding a mate in that way.
People just, it's for me, I feel like that's too much of a lie, right? Because okay, look, if they're,
I feel like women are more like that than men are. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. See, I like to think that like really brilliant art. You know how they say like sometimes life imitates art imitates whatever. Mm-hmm. I've kind of have this notion. I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can, but I think like shitty art imitates life. This life's pretty boring. But great art imitates the potential of life. So if these theories and ideas of love that they portray in movies, if you want to say they're unrealistic, I feel like what you're really saying is that you don't know how to achieve it. I mean, obviously, if somebody's like flying and has got a bag of magic beans, you can't do that. But like the way that those people feel about each other and the ups and downs and you could maintain some sort of thing like that.